What's going on, guys? It is Sheeprampage here, and today we are back with another Hello Guest news video. We have a discovered way to move the tram, a final polished version of the Alpha 2 intro, and more, so please make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video to stay in the know. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is a new name for the tram that could be used for an animation in the future. Now, as you guys saw in my last video, there was an animation of the guest turning some sort of wheel, which seemed to confuse me at first, but now there's some theories emerging on what this could mean. So after that video got released, I got a message of a picture of a tram. Just a normal tram, nothing special except for the name. Now I know I call things differently, but for whatever reason, they call the tram a funicular and the guest the visitor. Anyway, the name is called funicularvisitor.uasset. What this means? Well, why is this one labeled with visitor? Perhaps this wheel animation is used for this tram because, as we've seen in Hello Neighbor, they animate things by having two objects, one that is used in animation and one used for the game, and they will throw the animation one under the map after it's used.
We have a hammer? Oh, it's above ground. Why is... No, it's not. What? It's like in between the ground. Oh, I bet you that's the hammer that he was using in the cinematic, right? That makes sense, because I think I also saw a key. Can I grab the key? No, can't interact with this stuff. Okay, so there's a bunch of cinematic stuff falling through the ground by the looks of it. And there's the neighbor, and there's me!
So having this one that is named with visitor could mean that this is for the animation. Specifically, the guest spinning the wheel. And if that's not enough proof, there's also a file with an object that is, well, the wheel we've been looking for. So what I believe this means is that the tram file is for the animation, and the guest/visitor is to spin this wheel. Now, I'm guessing it's a steering wheel, but I'm not sure, because the tram is connected to a path already. But there's other animations of the guest doing other things that are also related to the tram, so maybe it's being taken apart as something. I'm not too sure. Let me know your opinions down in the comments below. Next thing we should talk about, while on the topic of the tram, is there is a way to move the tram. Somebody went to a build and showed how the tram puzzle would work, and it's crazy. I'm gonna play the footage while I talk about it real quick. What's crazy about this is that the puzzle is very similar to the first one in Alpha 1. Placing a camera to follow the puzzle until you reach your destination. What's weird about this one, though, is that once you hit a certain point, the tram catches on fire and begins to move back, which can be taken out via just a fire hydrant. Now, I'd imagine this isn't finished, but right now the puzzle looks super confusing as it moves back into place every time. So, what's shown in the video is just the tram moving forward, catching on fire, and then moving all the way back. It doesn't really make any sense why it does that, but also, it could just be the basic animation that they're working on right now and trying to get it to follow certain tracks. It could just move forward and backward even if you solve the puzzle. But even then, the video, it doesn't really seem like the puzzle is necessarily solved. But I do have to give credit that the animation on the tram is relatively polished so far, because whenever it goes back all the way to its original position, you can see it shake a little bit. And I know it's not too much, however, you know, you gotta give them credit where it's due, that this isn't even out yet and they're already going with the attention to detail. Which means that I feel like they are definitely trying to make this Hello Neighbor 2, even though it's not called that anymore, because I did find out that was their old name, actually. It was on the Steam page, it was supposed to be Hello Neighbor 2, and the Hello Neighbor 2 that you can see right now is actually a glitch. So, from what it seems like, yeah, from the quality, it's meant to be Hello Neighbor 2. It's meant to be hyped up how it is, and it's meant to be just as good as gameplay. And honestly, even though this is kind of an unpopular opinion, I think they're getting pretty close. Anyway, guys, the last thing we need to talk about is the fact that the Alpha 2 intro has a final video. Now, this isn't confirmed and could be BS, but a video was uploaded claiming that they have the final background. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so I always jump to conclusions, and I'm always wrong about them, and I finally was able to catch myself this time. Nobody said that this was the final, like, background. It was just a remake made to look exactly like how it will look. So this isn't actually the final animation, it's just what it will probably look like. It's just not perfect. Now, we've seen these animations before, but not as good, and in just random backgrounds, just random terrain in the air, it doesn't really matter, just showing the animation off. But now we actually have what the animation will look like in-game. Now, I've been out of the map, and to be honest, what happens looks a lot different, so I'd imagine the map might change a little bit to accommodate to this animation. Also, one more thing I wanted to bring up, Hello Neighbor had 3 acts, and Hide and Seek had 3 acts as well. So I think it's all but confirmed Hello Guest will have 3 of something as well. So people are telling me this is the intro to Alpha 2, but to be honest, I don't really think so. I think it's the start of the next scene, but from a full game perspective, it makes no sense for the game to start in the next scene after you've beaten the puzzle. So I feel like it would start as normal, and once the game is beaten, move into the second part. Which would make sense of why the original map seems to have things like the tram, assuming another location is in store. However, that is just a small theory, and they could skip straight into the second part, kind of like the Act 1 house and the Act 3 house in Hello Neighbor, which were 2 different alphas. And for all we know, we could be playing the same location in the second alpha part, which actually seems more likely than not, to be honest. And by that I mean, I feel like that maybe the map just changes over time to add different puzzles like the tram puzzle, rather than bringing us to a new location. But I think both of them are very possible. I just think that it's more likely that they're not going to make a whole new map. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. We are going on the race for 500 subscribers, getting really close to 1,000 subs. And let me guys know if you want me to start using a face cam, because for the most part, I just show random stock footage of me playing Hello Guest. However, it might be a little bit better if I add something more to look at, which is, me, and I might start doing that at like 500 subscribers. If you guys would like to do that, please make sure to leave a like on the video so I know you guys would want me to do that eventually. Anyway, as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.